Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Pink Floyd Completion Project. I'm sorry that it's been a little bit, but the weather wouldn't cooperate. It rained for a week. Not even useful stuff. It was just mist and generally wet out here for a week, so it was impossible to make a video. Um, but today, we are looking at another solo album, the first of two in the upcoming week here. I'm going to start cranking these out a lot quicker because I'm seeing David Gilmour very soon, and I am very excited. So today, we are going to be looking at his first solo album, his self-titled solo album. It's good. Again, it's not to the height. This is not an album that's to the heights of where the quality of his solo albums will be later. It's not to the height of where Pink Floyd was at the time, but it's good, and I do recommend it. So the first song is like Mahalis. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's a quiet instrumental, and it reminds me of an early version of Run off of Dark Side, where they would have like a guitar jam when they were touring that before they put it to tape. But anyway, so it kind of reminds me of an early version of Run, but it's laid back. This entire album is very laid back. It's bluesy. It almost kind of sounds, a lot of the time it almost kind of sounds like Rush. The Rush albums that were coming out at the time. And again, I don't have a problem with that. I love Rush. I don't know if I'll do a completion project on them, but I'm not complaining with that sound. The most famous song on the album is actually the second song, "There's No Way Out of Here." It's a bluesy jam. It's got a similar energy to "Obscured by Clouds." It's got great vocals, awesome guitar work, and there's a hint of harmonica. Most famous from the album, and in my opinion, the best off the album. This album is like overall just like it's just kind of there for a lot of it, and that's not a bad thing. I think there's again, if this came out today, I would say this is the greatest album in probably 20 years. Uh, like it's great. Um, well, not 20 years, maybe 10 years. Um, but again, it's got a similar energy to "Obscured by Clouds." It's the one where it's like, "There's no way out of here when you come in, you're in for good." It kind of has that energy. Um, yeah. "Cry from the Street," another bluesy jam, but it's got higher energy than "There's No Way Out of Here." But the vocal energy almost doesn't match. It's almost too laid back for the song. It's still awesome, and the end jam is fucking great, and it's reminiscent of Sheep. It's reminiscent of the from the end of Sheep there, which is off of Animals, which I will link the review to that down below. Look at me plugging things. Yeah. "So Far Away," not to be confused with the Nickelback song that would come out like 30 years later. Piano intro. It's potentially a love song, could be about touring. I don't really know what it's about. Great solo as always. Short and sweet is sort of stadium rock. The intro is very much a prototype of the intro riff of "Run Like Hell," which we will talk about in not the next episode, but the episode following it. Yeah. You know, there's almost a astronomy donomy energy to it. It's a little bit more laid back. The vocals are somewhat buried. I have no idea what it's about, and right here is where I identify the album as Rush-ish. If David Gilmour collaborated with Rush, that would have been fucking cool. That would have been fucking cool. I would. I'm kind of down. I'd kind of be down for that one. Like that. Oh, just thinking about that. That sounds fucking cool as shit. Um, uh, Raise My Rent, instrumental of laid back energy, and it's kind of got like a Hey You solo, but without the big muff. It's like that's the energy I'm getting from it. Again, I don't have a whole lot to say about this music, but like when I'm listening to it, I'm having a great time. It's one of those weird albums where it's like you enjoy it, but you know it's like but you know for a fact it's not the best thing out there. You know that it's good, but you can't but you also know that it's not as good as other stuff. It's a very strange album in that way. When I listen to it and I think about it, I enjoy the music, but when I try to describe it, I got nothing. Like I wrote these notes as I was listening to the album 5 minutes ago. And it's one of those weird things where it's just like, yeah, what do I write here? It's really it's again I can only describe that by listening to it. Maybe years down the line when I own this and can actually sit with it without ads and stuff interrupting the experience. Like, and if I listen to it a bunch of times in a row, maybe I'll finally find a way to describe it, but I don't know. No Way, it's the longest song on the album. By that I mean it's 5 seconds longer than the second longest song on the album, which is 6 minutes and 7 seconds. This song is 6 minutes and 12 seconds. Most of the songs are between like 5 and 6 minutes. The last two songs are the two shortest songs on the album. No Way, it's laid back and bluesy, potentially about arguments between David Gilmour and Roger, and there's excellent guitar solos. And then definitely, spelled like definitely, but the word deaf is at the beginning, like you can't hear. I don't know what the idea behind that is. Definitely instrumental. Once again, similar energy to Sheep. Great instrument work all around. From, David Gilmour is on guitar, vocals, and keys for the vast majority of this album. The backing vocals are great. You've got Rick Willis on bass, and then you've got Willie Wilson on drums, and both of those guys do great. I thought it was Rick on keys for a very long time, like Rick Wright on keys for a very long time, but I guess I was wrong, and I guess that wouldn't be possible because these two were working on their own solo albums at the same time, and we will get to Rick's next time. I Can't Breathe Anymore. It kind of has lead single energy. It's the shortest song on the album. It's on par with the rest of the album in terms of quality. So yeah, if you are a Floyd completionist, definitely fucking buy this. If you want to hear what David Gilmour sounds like on his own, definitely go listen to this. I think, like, borrow it from a friend or listen to it on Spotify or find it on YouTube. It's a good time. It's a good time. Again, not the greatest thing any Floyd member has ever made, not the worst thing a Floyd member has ever made. It's good. I recommend it. So this was made between Animals and The Wall. The Wall's a whole shenanigan. We're not gonna get into that story yet. I think Dave was also getting divorced from his wife at the time. As I think Rick was getting divorced from his wife. So there's a whole lot of stuff going on there. So yeah. Again, highly recommend this. I really do. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like on it. If you want to hear me talk about stuff other than music, I have a podcast with two of my buddies. It's called Dorkies. I will leave a link to that channel down below. If you want to continue along this musical journey with me, please feel free to describe. If you want to hear what I'm listening to that day, or a 15-second segment of it at least, you can follow me on Instagram at Sean_Heaster1979. I post a 15-second segment of a song on my story there every single day. And if you have something to add, please leave it in the comments below. If it's your opinion on the album, please leave it in the comments down below. So yeah, next time we are looking at Richard Wright's Wet Dream. It's an interesting title to the album. It's very British humor. So yeah, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Update. I'm gonna be making these on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays due to my shit internet. They typically tend to get uploaded the day after, so I guess that'll be like Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for y'all. But I'm recording this on Friday, so yeah, output's gonna be cranking out. Because again, I'm a little over a month away from seeing David Gilmour, and we're only at his first solo album in the story of the Floyd, and that's a while ago. So, thank you all very much for watching. I will see you all in the next one.